Alright, I've been asked this question a few times. People ask me if they're able to switch this dash, or this gauge cluster in the Buicks that has no tach and just the idiot lights, over to this one that has the tach in it and all the gauges and everything and no idiot lights. And I don't think it can be done, even though these these two clusters will bolt up and actually plug in. Looks like they'll plug in. I've never tried it, but even though they look like that, the one with the gauges has all the idiot lights on a separate piece inside the dash up on top, and the one without it has all the idiot lights right inside here, inside the cluster. So I'm betting that the wiring to the back of this is completely different, even though it'll plug in. But I'm going to go ahead and go out to the 94 and try to swap out for this dash and just see if it works, because I've had people ask me about it. So I'm just going to plug it in and see if it works. I don't think it will, but we'll give it a shot. Alright, here we are in the 94 Lesabre. The dash is painted differently, but it basically works the same way. All the lights are in the same spot and everything. And on the ones that have a tach, all these idiot lights are actually up here. That's the same on my 93 and my 97 and a 95 Park Avenue I took apart that had a tach. All had the lights up here. And the 95 that did not have a tach, no lights up there. This one, no lights up there. They're all in the cluster, so I don't think it'll work, but we'll give it a shot. First thing you want to do, I'll put this down so it's a little easier for me to work. Pop these vents out. They kind of roll off to one side, and I've actually showed this in another video. You pull the vents out, and you look up there and there's a screw. Now in each one of these vents there's a screw, so you have to pull all the 4 vents out and pull those screws up. Now this trim's also got to come off, and all this is just pull it off, pops off, no problem. Same with this side. Yeah, I'll open the door there, make it a little easier. There we go. And you look down here and there's a screw, there's a screw, and I believe there's a couple of more screws somewhere in here. But you just look down there for screws, and you take those screws out, and then you can just pull the dash out. This looks like it's already been broken once. Probably the guy who put that radio in, not me. But you do that, and that'll come off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, because you don't need to watch me do it, because I've done it before, and you probably don't want to watch me turn screws. So get that done and we'll come back. Alright, I've got the plastic trim off. After you get all the screws out, it just pulls out. To get it all the way out, you have to put the gear shift lever all the way down. Now the one thing on these clusters that you got to watch out for is a little kind of cable there, and what that does, if I can get a good shot of it, is it turns, it gets pulled by the shift lever, and it actually makes that little indicator move. So now I think to get that off, I'm going to have to take at least a couple of these bolts out and drop this dash down just a little bit, so I can reach under and unhook where it is. Now usually I don't ever do this unless I take the whole dash out, but I'm going to go ahead and see how many bolts I have to take off to get this to drop down enough so I can reach that. Alright, I got the dash to drop down. What I had to do was take out this bolt here, this nut here, and then when we go to the underside, there will be a nut, or I mean a bolt, right there, just above the emergency brake. Pull that out, And then you should be able to pull just this corner of the dash forward just enough to clear this stud. And then you can push it down and put the gear shift lever in park. And that will give you enough room to slide off this little clippy thing. Oh, where's my don't have a flathead screwdriver, but let's see if I can do it with this. There we go. Then you can just fish that back out of there. Then you can go ahead and move on and take the cluster out. All it is 1, 2, 3, 4 little screws, and then you should be able to just pull it out and replace it. All right, I've got my my little wire here, little strap unhooked. I've got all the screws out of the dash. I've got the steering wheel tilted down and the gear shift lever actually in either second or first in low gear. Now I'm going to set you on the steering wheel and see if I can just pull this thing out without knocking you over. Kind of a tricky thing to do, but it will come out. There we go. Now it's out. Now you see that connector back there. That's what it plugs into. Here's the old cluster. And to put the new one in, basically, you just slide it back in like the old one. I'm going to look at the back of these real quick. And yep, they're basically the same on the back, I mean, as far as the plug-in goes. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot and push those in, and then I'll find a battery and some gas and see if this thing will work. I'm still thinking it won't, but we'll give it a shot. Well, here we go. Moment of truth. No. Blinker don't blink. Comes on, but yeah. See if it'll fire up. No gauge is moving. And it's in there because the lights are coming on. It don't work. Just as I figured. Those dashes are completely different, and you cannot swap them out without doing probably some extensive wiring. Hope I didn't fry my dash or my cluster there, but who cares? It's an extra one. I got plenty more. But you cannot just swap them out. It don't work that way.